Welcome out, everybody. Thank you for being with us. It's good to be back with you on a live meeting. This meeting is for Energy Insiders, and that means you've signed up. You want to be part of these kind of things. You want to be bothered by us with survey questions, and you want to be part of the process of developing and launching products. And so we're grateful for all of you. I'm Ted Hartman. This is Jared Grover. He's our president. I'm our chief marketing officer. And we have set up this meeting as a Zoom meeting so we can have it private just to our Energy Insiders. If you've got questions or comments, please chat. Please type them in the chat, and we will answer your questions. We have some fun things to talk about today. We are here to talk about a new product, and it is called the Kodiak LT. Jared, would you like to tell them a little bit about the Kodiak LT?
Yeah, so if you guys have been with us for very long, you might remember our very first product. You might have seen us early in the meeting, kind of strategically setting up the Kodiak here behind us. But that's kind of the product that started it all for us. In fact, there were a few products before that for a couple of years where we were still trying to get traction, kind of figure out what we were doing. But the Kodiak was really the first product for us that really made an impact. And it's really the reason that we're here at all. So the Kodiak has kind of been near and dear to our hearts for a long time. And we wanted to kind of bring that name back with a whole product line. And to kick things off, we want to start with the Kodiak LT. So this is a super ultra lightweight, very compact, very portable, kind of utilitarian style power station that we're super excited to bring out and kind of introduce the Kodiak line again with the Kodiak LT.
So the Kodiak LT is different than anything we've launched ever.
Yeah.
In that it is extremely compact, and it packs a very strong punch for the size. It will output 350 watts continuous, and it has a 600 watt surge and a 346 watt hour battery inside. Jared, tell them a little bit about the LT and what it's capable of.
Yeah, sure. So this is the optimal balance we were trying to strike was in space, volume, and power output. So those matched up specs, like Ted said, 350 watt inverter, 346 watt hours of battery. When we were designing this product, we spent a lot of time trying to decide what battery chemistry to use. For us, the answer was obvious. We wanted to go back to a lithium NMC battery, just like the Kodiak, the predecessor was before it. It's a great balance of very high power density along with longevity and safety. It's a great battery chemistry for this purpose specifically. So this thing weighs in at just over 7 pounds. I mean, it's extremely lightweight. I don't know. I wish you could see how much it weighs in the video, but there are limitations. But it's a really small, compact product. Again, this is kind of a utilitarian style product. It doesn't have a lot of the bells and whistles with like Bluetooth monitoring or Wi-Fi. It doesn't have those kinds of things because, frankly speaking, in a product of this size, you really don't want to be using your battery capacity to monitor things on your phone. You want to use that power for what you need it for, whether that's outdoor recreation, emergency preparedness, like a bug out bag, something like that. So we really wanted to keep this as utilitarian as it possibly could be. So you will notice on the product that there's not a lot of these extra bells and whistles that you sometimes see on products of this size and category. But frankly speaking, as a user, I don't think those are all that helpful in the first place, and they just inflate the cost. So we really kept this thing as utilitarian as we could, and I think we really nailed it on this.
So as you can see, the Kodiak LT, it's got both AC and DC output. It comes with 4 5.5 by 2.1 outputs. These DC outputs will work with our Basecamp LEDs. You have 2 Qualcomm Quick Charge 3.0 USB A's, and then you have USB-C outputs, and then it has 2 AC 120 VAC outputs on the right side, and yeah, you can see that there. So ideal uses for this product, Jared, what is this thing really good for?
So personally, this is kind of like a pet project for me a little bit because I'm a really avid outdoorsman. I love camping, fishing, hunting. anything outdoors, kayaking, if you name it, I love to do it. So from an outdoor recreation standpoint, this thing is perfect for camping. I've spent the last, well, I guess I just recently got an Apex, and I haven't got a Flex yet personally. But I've been camping with my Apex and Kodiak for like 7 years. And as powerful as that product is, and it is really nice to have all that excess power, you just don't need it. You need something that's a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. So for camping, this thing's awesome. You can inflate your inflatable air mattresses, no problem. I'm kind of a softie. I like to clamp. So I guess air mattresses are great for this. The base camp lights are game changing for anybody that loves to camp or go outdoors. I don't need to have like the mess and sound and sensitivity of lanterns. So using the base camp lights, again, with this thing is great. Charging phones, cameras. My phone is my camera, but communications equipment, things like that, or even Bluetooth speakers. It's kind of fun to have music while you're out camping or fishing or whatever. So I use it for all those types of things. But again, as well, for emergency preparedness, if any of the people on the call right now are into emergency preparedness, the Kodiak, the Apex, the Flex, those preceding products haven't really been quite ideal for a bug out bag type situation. And there are situations where you do need some power off grid, especially for communications or navigation equipment. And it can power a CPAP for about one night. So it does have some application as well towards some of those types of devices. But primarily, it's going to be an outstanding product for just a kind of a grab and go, need a little bit of power to take it with you. And the price point on this thing is very, very competitive. I know that we kind of glossed over that earlier when we were getting into this.
True.
But I feel like this is a great point to bring up, is the price. And then I saw a question come in about when is it going to be available.
Yeah. Retail price is going to be $275. Energy insiders, of course, are going to get a discount on that because, you're part of the team. And at the end of this call, we are going to send you an email that has the link and the discount code. If you're interested in buying it, that's great. The first batch of these, so just to be clear, this is not a prototype. This is a production product. The first batches are being manufactured. No, they're manufactured right now, yeah. and they've been ordered and they're on their way. And then the larger second manufacturing run is in process. Mm-hmm. So there's going to be a small amount available immediately, and then after that initial amount, how many, or when did we say that those would ship? September.
End of September.
Yeah, end of September. So we've got a few questions on here. Actually, there's a good question on here about the charging ports. David Black, thanks, David, asked, what are the charging ports and what is the max discharge? So I want to show you the charging port right here. So you can charge it with a car charger, which is included, and a AC wall charger, which is included. And also it will accept a 100-watt solar panel. And it comes with an adapter that goes from MC4 to this 5.5 millimeter by 2.1 millimeter input. The max discharge, David, that max discharge, once again, is 350 watts continuous, and then it'll handle a surge of up to 600 watts. So obviously it's going to power a lot of portable devices, cameras, drones, camera batteries, obviously phones and tablets and laptops, lights. We've even powered a portable cooler, a 12-volt cooler with it. For, I think the runtime on that was close to 5 hours. Just caveat about that. Those are much more efficient when they're already cold when you plug it in. It might take the full 5 hours to get it cold. But, and then let's see. So let's look at some other questions here. Anticipated release date, we got that.
David Black, just got a call. That's hilarious. Did the president of Energy just say he does not have a Flex? David, you're right. You heard it right.
I don't either.
I don't personally have a Flex until we're fully caught up on that and those are fully fulfilled. It didn't feel right for me to have one personally yet, so I'm still rocking the Apex.
Yeah.
And now the Kodiak LT. So.
Yeah. We're getting close, but yes, we've got customers that take precedence. So. Carol asks a fair question. She has 2 Kodiaks and the Flex units. Carol, first of all, we love you. Thank you for being our customer and for coming back to us again and again. So why would she need this unit?
This is not going to compete directly in the same space as like the Flex or the Kodiaks before. This is going to be a much, much smaller, more portable unit. Again, I hate to sound redundant, but just kind of coming back to my own personal experience with this, because I've been testing and using this for about 3 months now, personally. It's just so much smaller, so much lighter weight, more compact and easy to take around. I kind of found myself leaving my Apex or my Kodiak at home more often than I should, because it was just a little bit bigger, a little more space consumption. And I just don't need that much power when I'm off camping. I kind of need just something a little bit more minimal. And that's really where we found this thing fit that niche. And so again, selfishly, this is kind of a pet project of mine. This is a product category that I'm personally very interested in. And as a user, I'm super excited about it. So I would say that if you have Kodiaks and a Flex already and enjoy them, that's awesome. If you're looking to take power with you when you go places, like even to just like a picnic or something where you want to have some lights or music, something like this is ideal. It's a lot lighter weight, a lot easier to carry around, consumes a lot less space. So that's what my response is.
Yeah. One early beta tester, his name's Brandon. He took it to Island Park, which is outside of Yellowstone here in Idaho. And he camped for 5 days. And he usually takes an Apex. He didn't realize how little power he was using out of the Apex until he took the Kodiak LT and ran his whole camp for the 5 days. And he only plugged the solar panel in on the last day.
Mm-hmm.
And he was doing things like blowing up air mattresses, running lights, charging drones and camera batteries, the things that you do on a camp. And he was blown away that he didn't have to be lugging around his Apex to just go camping. And so although he loves having his Apex for, larger backup needs, like running a refrigerator when the power goes out, or even longer trips, or, if he wants to run, higher discharge items like a portable refrigerator, or if we're, a Dometic or things like that. But he didn't even get through the whole battery capacity. He had about 25% left after 5 days without recharging at all. So he was really happy that he's got something in about the third the size, the third the weight, that just really packs a punch. So I want to address Matt Pritchard. That was a really solid question, and it deserves an answer. A lot of competition has come into the solar generator space in the last 4 years. How does the Kodiak differentiate itself from the competitors in the marketplace, especially to new customers in Inergy? So I'm going to throw one thing out there that I think is significant. And it goes back to what Jared was saying, that it's almost differentiated because it is what you need and nothing more. And it's low cost, but a ton of value for what you're getting. And then I also want to throw in a plug for the people I work with here at Inergy. Inergy is a U.S. company owned by U.S. citizens. And if you ever need anything, if you ever have questions, or if you drop it and it gets broken, or you have any kinds of problems with it, we are a phone call away. And that is not always the case with competition. Most of the competition is owned by outside entities, foreign entities. And nothing against them. A lot of those products are really good. We work with wonderful people overseas that we love. But when you buy from Inergy, you're buying from us, and we're going to be here. We're going to have your back. And when you call, you're going to get the KJ is going to answer the phone, and he's going to answer your questions. Victoria is going to answer the phone. Cassidy is going to answer the phone. Parker, who started today, is going to answer the phone, and they're going to help you out. And I'm proud of that. I think that's important. At least it is to us. But
yeah.
Okay. Anything you want to add there?
Yeah, I guess just one thing that we've kind of learned a little bit the hard way the last couple of years, if anybody of you have kind of been along for this ride as we've gone through the Flex, and we don't want to make this about the Flex, we want to keep this about the Kodiak LT, obviously. But with the supply chain shortages that have just kind of turned the entire technology sector upside down, we wanted to design a product that circumvented as much of that as possible. So we wanted to talk about is the minimum number of semiconductor chips that needed to be implemented into a product while still accomplishing the performance goals that we require. So we designed this product to be as supply chain shortage free as you could possibly get, because we don't want this thing to go out of stock. So the objective, the design principle was, number one, and this kind of answers your question about what's different about it, is that we're really trying to hit a lot of battery capacity and a lot of inverter output for your dollar. We're trying to really just maximize that and keep it as utilitarian as possible, while also keeping this thing as available as we can possibly make it from supply shortages and disruptions, so that it's not bogged down by shortages that are outside of our control. So yeah. I would say that's what's different about this product itself. Now, again, I do want to just take just one quick moment and tease that this is a Kodiak line. So we are announcing a Kodiak lineup, a full lineup of products that kind of follow similar design principles. And those will be unveiling progressively throughout the next couple of months. This is our first entrant. It's a very small, compact, portable unit that's a lot more affordable, more accessible for a lot of folks. And that's kind of how we're bringing the Kodiak line back to begin.
Yeah. Great answer. There's one question: is that the new Powerwall I see behind the Kodiak? No, it's better than a Powerwall, but you'll hear more about that. You should have received an email about it. If not, give us a call or email at support@inergysolar.com, and we can answer some questions about it.
One thing I do want to call out about that question about solar panels. So pass-through charging is something that's very common on much larger format products. But with a small battery bank like this thing has relative to like the Flex or the Kodiak or the Apex, something like that, pass-through charging with a higher discharge rate can do damage to the battery. So this does have pass-through charging capability via DC. So if you're charging this thing using solar panels through the charge port here on the side, you can access any of the DC ports on the front. But if you want to use AC, unplug your solar panel cable and you'll be good to use the AC. Again, that's a measure to prevent any damage from the battery and really kind of maximize its life expectancy. Yeah. So does it offer pass-through charging? Yes, via DC.
Okay. Backpacking weight is everything. Absolutely. Package options. Yes, there will be package options. There's going to be a kit with the Kodiak LT and a 100-watt solar panel. They're both our folding ascent panel, which we've got right here, and that was the one that we also showed in the video. And then our standard monocrystalline black storm panel. How quickly does the battery charge from a solar panel? Lisa, good question. So the one solar panel will charge this in 7 to 8 hours. From 0 to 100%. Let's see, what's Lee got here?
I want to talk a little bit about what Matt Pritchard said. He's like, his questions are great. Yeah. Matt, great questions, man. So his comment, I'll read it aloud. With the new lineup of Kodiak products coming out, it may be worth communicating to customers still waiting on Flex products that they are an addition that's not taking away or impeding the efforts to get the backlog fulfilled.
Great question, yeah.
Matt, that is a great comment, and that's something that we were kind of prepared to answer tonight. So thank you for bringing that forward. Totally appreciate the opportunity to answer that. So first and foremost, we are using separate engineering resources and teams to create the Kodiak line versus the Flex line. That way we're not taxing the Flex engineers with these new products. So that's first and foremost. Second of all, the superchargers actually just arrived in our warehouse this last Friday, I believe, and we're just finalizing the last bit of QC, then shipping those out. So going forward, the Flex in its entirety design-wise is complete. It's done. Now we're just in kind of like that fulfillment mode. But we did want to have different engineering resources that are working on the Kodiak line versus the Flex line, so that we're not kind of unduly taxing one over the other.
Yeah.
So they are separate engineering teams, which is why we've been able to accomplish this amid the Flex. So I think that's a really good question and one that deserves an answer.
Yeah, and also the reason we're releasing this now is that everything that is on order for the Flex is in the pipeline. Once we knew that was secured, we felt comfortable releasing something.
Yeah,
new.
Agreed. Good point.
So let's see. Let's just check our notes really quick. Are there any other questions that we wanted to make sure we answered?
You know, there really isn't. It's a pretty straightforward product. We're really excited to bring it to market, and we're excited for you guys to try it out. This thing is not going to be in an out of stock status. We're excited to get this thing now that it's actually real and in production, ready and brought to market. So that's one of the things that I wanted to add.
Yeah. And just finally, thank you again for being, part of the team with us, for giving us feedback.
I was just answering one. Jim asked, standard battery life, 80% after about 1,000 charges, pretty standard stuff. And the charge controller is an MPPT charge controller. So both of those things are the same on this.
And Mark, that's a great question about the reset process. Do we have that answer?
Yeah, it's a self-resetting fuse. So on this one, there's no reset procedure you need to follow. If it does need to be, booted back up after a long duration of storage or heavy use or something like that, and it does happen to turn off, again, just plugging in a charge source should boot that battery back up. That's just hitting the BMS with some voltage that turns that back on. But they are self-resetting fuses inside of this, so you really shouldn't have that experience.
Okay. Well, with that, Ken got one in under the wire there. That's a good question. Jared, weren't you gonna?
Yeah. So the Kodiak line,
a little bit of a teaser.
Yeah, the Kodiak line is kind of, as we're rolling that product line, I have to be really careful on these live streams. I can divulge more than I plan to.
Real trouble here.
Yeah, so I got to be careful. But the Kodiak line design principles are to be as competitive as we can for insulating us from supply chain shortages that we've commonly felt with the Flex line. So that is a major focus for the Kodiak line. And again, developing different engineering resources to diversify our team's portfolio. That's a major component of it. And then we do have another product line that will be, or another product in the Kodiak line that will be coming out. Do you mind should I say the product name?
Yeah.
All right. We debated this earlier. We weren't sure if we should do it. So it's called the Kodiak X2, and that's a larger format product. It is a lithium iron phosphate battery, LFP. We're excited to bring our first product of that battery chemistry to market. I'm going to do it. That'll happen That'll happen a little bit later, but it is the X2. We're excited about that. And if you stay as a part of our customer panel, you'll get early access to that, including feedback on features, all those kinds of things that you really help us with. So more of that.
There's meaning in that name.
Yeah, we're excited.
All right. Okay. Well, thanks everybody. Oh gosh. Drew Carey stuff's back. Hey, I don't even have glasses on. David. Was it David that used to do that to me on the
I don't know. You've been called Drew Carey. I've been said I have white legs. That's how the live streams go.
We love you guys.
All right. Well, I think we're good. Let's wrap this up while we're still in a good place.
Yeah.
Before we divulge too much.
And if you've got more questions, shoot us an email. We want to hear from you. All right. Take care.
Thanks, guys.